Hi everybody, how are you? It's your friend Rabbi Bregman. End of the day. Wanted to make sure you had a little vitamin T. T for Torah. No matter what you did or didn't do today, you have a soul, an neshama, piece of God inside of you. And it's important that it have its nutrition. So, thought we would prep it a good meal. I'd share with you an insight from my Torah commentary, short and sweet on the Parsha, my book. Something that I was thinking about today based on conversations I had with other people. So maybe we'll make a routine out of this. End of day, make sure you have a good meal as your day is winding down. Right now it's about 8 o'clock East Coast time when I'm hitting play. So here's the thought. A lot of people set goals and they want to accomplish something and they set out to do it and they get working on it and they fall short. And they try to make themselves feel better about the fact that they fell short afterwards by saying, you know what, we still have more of the good thing than we had before. For example, a person might say, I'm trying to raise $1,000 to help this family, and I ended up raising $200. Well, at least we have more money than we had before. At least it does something. Or a man might start learning the Talmud, and he says, I want to finish all the books, but I only finish in the end one of the books. Okay, well, at least there's more Torah than we had before. Or a person says, I know 10 families that, have a certain need to be connected, with a resource in the community. And in the end, I did 3. Well, 3 is better than nothing, right? And yeah, it is true. It is true. But at the same time, I want to share with you an additional perspective so a person knows what the Torah has to say on this topic to round out our perspective. Because just because we make ourselves feel good by saying, there's more than there was before, that is true. And it's better we help some poor people than no poor people. I want to give you an additional perspective to think on and to work on, to round out your understanding maybe how life works, okay? So, there's in short and sweet, I speak about this on page 8 in a certain context. And I cite over here a Midrash, a work of the ancient Jewish sages from over 2,000 years ago, in the name of the Alter of Kelm. The Alter of Kelm, Rabbi from the recent centuries, cites a Midrash that what happened at the time of creation was kind of cool, that if you know the Torah, it says that Hashem, that God, made Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve. And the Midrash says that right before the deadline, before Shabbat, the first Sabbath was coming in, the end of the 6th day and right before the beginning of the 7th day, that God actually was going to try to make another Adam, another Adam. He's tried to fashion another one, but that the Midrash says that God ran out of time. So we have to know what ran out of time means, because you're God. You could do anything in a second and you're not a procrastinator. So what does it mean that God ran out of time? But that God wanted to make another Adam, and he ran out of time before Shabbat. And I guess that bell means 8 o'clock. And so the question the Midrash says is, whatever became of this work, this incomplete Adam, this incomplete Adam that Hashem tried to make, what happened to it? So the Midrash says that this unfinished Adam eventually became what we have in the world called Shadim. Shadim is loosely translated in English as to the word demons, or these sort of spiritual beings that make trouble. That's what ended up becoming of this incomplete, unfinished work. So the Alter of Kelm said on this Midrash that you see from here, that to have an undertaking, even a holy one, but you don't complete it, it can have some bad consequences for you. You follow? So to set out to make something holy, even something worthwhile, and you don't complete it, it could have bad consequences. God wanted to make another Adam, and you ran out of time, so to speak. And of course, it's only to teach us a lesson that he ran out of time. And what became of it? Shadim, demons, negative spiritual forces. So be careful to undertake something and not take it all the way. That's one source. I'll give you another source. The Kutzker Rebbe, one of the early Hasidic leaders, brings a point based on a verse in the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 12. I'm telling you what it says over here, but just giving it to you like this, right? So the verse says in the Torah, when the Jewish people got to Mount Sinai, the verse says, beware of ascending the mountain or touching its edge. Whoever touches the mountain shall surely die. So the simple understanding is God is telling Moses and the Jewish people This is a simple instruction. I'm going to give you the Torah and reveal myself to the 3 million of you on Mount Sinai. Beware of ascending or touching the mountain. Be careful, so you can't go up it, and don't touch it, because if you do, you're going to die. So the simple understanding is, don't touch, okay? Radioactive, stay away. But the Kotzker Rebbe says that homiletically, that this verse could be understood to be saying something more and bigger and deeper. So the Kotzker Rebbe, and I'll just say what I write, he explains that many times a person is inspired to undertake something great, organizational or for the community or whatnot. The person begins and then falls very short of the goal. So instead of feeling about it, the person says what I said in the beginning, I didn't meet my goal, but you know what? It's more Torah, kindness, good deeds, weight loss, I don't know, like more whatever than we had to begin with. But you know what? It's more than we had anyway. The Kotzker Rebbe says what I said at the top. Where do you think I get this stuff from? I just make it up. It's Torah, right? He says that while that's true, that could be a destructive attitude to have. Why? He says we learn it out from the verse. The verse says, beware of ascending the mountain or touching its edge. Touching its edge, the mountain is the goal you have, and to touch its edge means you touch a little bit of it, but you don't really, you don't do all of it. You just touch the edge. You ascend a little, but but not the whole thing. What's that tantamount to? Whoever touches the mountain shall surely die. So meaning that you start to undertake a spiritual goal and you don't get all the way there, there's a little bit of spiritual death that's part of it. So this is what I wanted to share over with you. Don't feel so good about just taking on a goal or a task and falling short. It is true, and I'm thinking this while I talk to you, it does say a Mishnah, a teaching of the sages in Pirkei Avot, ethics of the fathers. It is, just to be fair, it does say, Lo alecha lecha ligmar, it's not incumbent upon you to finish a task, but merely to begin it. That is true, because there are some age-old problems out there, and if a person would try to necessarily fix everything, poverty, poor health care, ignorance, there's a lot of things that, if you try to do it all, you're never going to be able. So, lo alecha lecha ligmor. It's not up to you necessarily to finish every task. God can finish the task. Sometimes God leaves other things to a forthcoming generation to finish something. The Midrash speaks about that in another place. So, lo alecha lecha ligmor. It's not necessarily for you to finish everything, but at least begin. That's true. But on the other side of the coin, don't feel so good about starting things and just leaving them be. Okay? In life, you have to be a closer. You want to feel good about yourself, you have to finish tasks. I sometimes have a hard time doing that because I'm like a big engine. Go, do, make. I have a lot of cycles of unfinished stuff that I start, and I got to go back and finish it. But you have to close in life. You have to wrap things up. You have to finish, because that's where the real rewards lie. Sometimes I tell this to people, they're like, oh, do you have ADD or da-da-da-da-da? No, I'm just a very big alpha male kind of doer, goer, maker, producer full of ideas, and I blast it out there, which the Torah and mystical writings call the essence of being masculine, but then it has to be, you have to have the feminine side in you, whether you're a man or a woman, and actually build something out of it. Anyway, some stuff to think about. Do, go, make, hustle, accomplish. Yeah, go close, go finish. And just don't feel so good about starting and not finishing. Efshir, we say in Hebrew. It's possible that there's a little bit of spiritual death in that. And I'll leave you with this. You should know, and I believe it's very strong, God doesn't put ideas into your head just to tease you visions of what could be. If God puts things in your mind, ideas on what you can accomplish, generally it's real and possible for you. So don't just feel so good about starting and not doing anything with it. Do something with it. If our Creator put an idea, a vision in your mind, in your heart to do something good for people, don't just feel so good about doing nothing. Get on it, hustle, do it. Maybe you can finish it. Maybe it's not incumbent upon you to fix every problem in the world. But a lot of things that are personal visions of yours, you could do them. I know you're watching this video. You got up to minute 9. You could do it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this clip. Please share it with other people, whether you verbally share this idea with other people, or you share the video on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere else. Come on, let's spread the wisdom. If you like a copy of this book, short and sweet on the Parsha, 550 pages of deep, delicious Torah. You can't get it online anymore. It used to be on Amazon. It sold out. Feldheim publishers, one of the two biggest publishers of Jewish books in the world. They sold out. Doesn't exist anymore. I only have the last remaining copies. If you live in the US, I'll get you a copy. It's $36. That includes shipping. You'll have it like in a day or two. It's as big as like 2 Torah books. If you buy an art school book, a Feldheim book, it's as thick as 2 of them. And I'll sign it, write you a blessing, gift it, whatever you like. Anyway, be in touch. Enjoy. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed your vitamin T. Bye.